So we've talked about insulin. We've talked about estrogen. Let's talk about a healthy thyroid. Your thyroid oversees your use of energy. And it's an unassuming organ. You probably didn't even know it was there. It was right on the bottom of your neck there. Okay, how can things go wrong with my thyroid gland? Well, hypothyroidism, hypo means lower, and low levels of thyroid hormone mean that you're going to feel weak. You're going to feel tired. You'll be sensitive to cold. It's like your body is just kind of shutting down. It's not working right. Now, the opposite can happen too. You're hyperthyroid. Hyperthyroidism means you've got too much thyroid hormone in your blood, and that can cause weight loss usually, although sometimes there's some paradoxical weight gain. Your pulse gets rapid, you feel nervous, you feel basically revved up. Neither one is healthy. What's this all about? Okay, let's look at it. This is thyroid hormone, thyroxine, T4. You see those purple big atoms there? That is iodine. And iodine is essential for your thyroid to make this hormone. If it doesn't have iodine, you can't make any. Now, back in 1924, the Morton Company started marketing iodized salt in the blue canisters and the girl in the umbrella. And almost overnight, Americans had plenty of iodine in their diet, and you stopped seeing so much iodine deficiency. Well, today we're modern. We're having sea salt, Himalayan salt, kosher salt. They might not be iodized unless it's written on the label that they are. And that can mean that you might be running low in iodine. What can you do? Well, the dairy industry wants to run in and say, have dairy products because they have iodine in them. And you know, if it's true, there is some iodine in dairy, but you know where it's from? Some of it comes from iodine supplements they gave to the cow, and the rest comes from disinfectants that are used on the cow's udder. A cow's udder gets in mud and feces and caked milk, and it is cleaned up prior to milking, but they use an iodine-containing disinfectant. And after they disinfect the teats on the udder, and then they hook up the milking machine, some of the disinfectant and the things that it was disinfecting go down the tube into your milk. And so you're getting traces of all of that stuff. Not the most appetizing or healthful source, but there's a better source, and that's sea vegetables, seaweed. Yep, seaweed. If you go to a sushi bar, don't order the fish sushi, but have the cucumber roll or the asparagus roll. The nori that it is wrapped in is a healthy seaweed loaded with iodine. Wakame in your miso soup, same story. And arame. Arame, if you haven't met arame, it's a delicate, fine seaweed. And in my book, Your Body in Balance, I have a recipe that I'd love for you to try. You take a cucumber, slice it really super thin, lay it out, fan it out on a plate, and sprinkle on a little bit of lemon juice or seasoned vinegar, a little bit of arame, touch of salt, let it sit, and it becomes the most delicate, clean salad you have ever had. And your thyroid starts cheering for you because suddenly you're giving it what it needs to give you energy. Here's the point. When I was a kid growing up in Fargo, North Dakota, we didn't know about seaweed, but our Japanese friends taught us that there's lots of ways to make it part of your culinary routine, and it's a good thing. Okay, in the United States, the biggest reason for low thyroid or high thyroid is not an absence of iodine. It's thyroid antibodies. What I mean is your white blood cells create antibodies, which are like microscopic torpedoes. They're little protein molecules, and I call them torpedoes because the white blood cells make them. They are trying to attack viruses, bacteria, things that have entered your body. They're looking for things that don't belong there. A cancer cell. Your white blood cells will make antibodies to try to knock them out. In this case, antibodies are being made by your body, and for some reason they are attacking your thyroid gland. Antibodies are stopping your thyroid from being able to make thyroid hormone normally. And so you end up with low thyroid. That's called Hashimoto's thyroiditis. It's a very common autoimmune condition. Autoimmune meaning your immune system is attacking you. The opposite can happen. where your body is making antibodies, and now they're attacking the regulatory machinery for your thyroid. So it can't turn off. And you end up hyperthyroid. That's called Graves' disease. So this is really the main problem in the United States, is we've got these antibodies in our blood. Well, could diet have something to do with them? Maybe so. At the Adventist Health Study 2, they brought in more than 65,000 volunteers. The volunteers were health conscious, mostly teetotaling non-smokers, but they varied in diet. There were meat eaters in there. There were vegans in there. There were people who were lacto-ovo-vegetarians, pesca-vegetarians, and so forth. And they compared their risks of thyroid disease. Here's what they found. If you looked at hypothyroidism, low thyroid, vegans did the best, the lowest prevalence. Who did the worst? Who had the most hypothyroidism? Turned out to be the lacto-ovo-vegetarians. They're not eating meat, but they're making up for it with cheese, yogurt, other dairy products. Now, when it comes to hyperthyroidism, the vegans again do the best. Who does the worst? Now it's the omnivores. They're not having not only dairy, but they're having eggs. They're having meat, fish, chicken. What we believe is happening is that the proteins in these foods are triggering the antibody reaction within your body so that your thyroid gets attacked. Now, we need more research on this, but many people are changing their diet now to try to take advantage of it. This is Nancy. Nancy was a 49-year-old accountant. She had been hypothyroid for the past 30 years. She was diagnosed at age 19. She was overweight, tired, sensitive to cold, and she was treated with thyroid hormone, levothyroxine, 125 micrograms a day. And coincidentally, her weight crept up to the same number that her cholesterol crept up to, both 265, not good. Well, she decided to try a plant-based diet, vegan diet, and her weight dropped and dropped and dropped to 150, pretty good. Her cholesterol dropped to 148, that's phenomenal. Her thyroid returned to normal. Her physician stopped her medication, and she got her energy back. She got her life back. And instead of feeling kind of sluggish and out of shape, she decided, I feel so good, I'm going to lace up my sneakers. And that's what she did. And she started to really enjoy life again. Can this be you? Well, don't fire your doctor. Don't cancel your doctor's appointment, and don't throw your pills away. Say to your doctor, I want to see what a healthy plant-based diet will do for me. Will you monitor me as I do? Your doctor is going to say, of course, we draw your blood tests all the time. Have a go. And I would encourage you to do that. See how you do. Keep in touch with your physician along the way.